Elgun Safarov for 4 minutes.
Madam Chair, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me warmly welcome all delegation members, Your Excellencies. African Union, including a special action plan, Goa da Gogo, at the same time resolution on combating human trafficking in Africa. There are so many Kampala Convention and other international regulations which are regulating, especially not just international level from United Nations adopted by you, but at the same time regional level. 2021 amendment law, especially on the Anti-Trafficking in Person Act 2011. Ongoing reforms, especially on Children Protection and Welfare Act. Awareness-raising campaigns established an anti-trafficking migrant and the control unit. But at the same time, the Kingdom of Lesotho suffers high level of trafficking persons, particularly in women, children, and people living in poverty or close to the poverty line. Lesotho is a source and transit point of human trafficking, particularly affecting women and children who are subjected to forced labor and sexual exploitation, unfortunately. An economic hardship exacerbated by inflation and climate change have driven vulnerable populations to seek opportunities in urban centers and abroad, where they often fall prey to traffickers. Women and girls, especially those from underprivileged backgrounds, learned to the South Africa and the continuous in Western Asia through fraudulent job offers, only to be coerced into the sex trafficking or exploitation labor. Cyber crimes, cyber trafficking crimes, especially on the rise in Lesotho, and financial and government institutions are frequently targeted, occasionally leading to the service disruption. Concern points at the continuing privilege of trafficking women and girls and the low report rates. Rural women and other categories which are under the poverty are the main risk at this moment. And when we go to the points, we need to understand you're doing very good, especially during the years you try to go. Your activities on the prevention policy, trainings especially done, especially in this line. Kingdom of Lesotho ratified all conventions on the United Nations on the prevention of trafficking, but implementation level. It's regional, we know the transnational crimes, and unfortunately, your citizens are victims. Let's go to the question. What about adoption special law on the prevention of trafficking? You have the act, but what about the definition change? Because you have the international standards which need to come directly through the definitions and terminology definitions which are coming. National Strategic Act especially. You have to implementing several drafting documents, but what about your wide understanding, a special strategy on the prevention of trafficking, what will be 2027, 2028? Shelters, accessibility to the shelters. You have in the capital your shelter, but what about the nationwide? What about the several centers, especially in the regions where your traffickers are so much, especially? Problems of the identification of the victims. What kind of investigations, resolutions, and transformation you can see, especially in this point, to get the positive lines in the future lines? And exit programs, especially for the victims of the prostitution, how they can live with the prostitution. It's very difficult, I know about this, especially trafficking situation, how to fight against this when you have the poverty problems. But what, and my last question especially about the cyber trafficking, cyber crimes. I know that you create during the last year some agencies, but not cyber trafficking, especially against the cyber crimes. But what will be going, especially plan, and NGOs, which are very important, how you are coordinating with NGOs in this slide, especially support. Kia leboha haholo.